We're in the parks for this week's Disneyland Construction update with perhaps the best news so far from Tianas Palace. Plus, part of the Fantasyland Refurb project is complete. New art and a new name revealed at San Fransokyo, and I chased Sofia around ToonTown for a while before finally getting to ride Runaway Railway again. But first, let's stop by Tiana's Bayou adventure, where a tree has gone missing. And there it is, our view of the mountain, which looks mostly as it has for the past few weeks. Lots of scaffolding about. The tree stump at the top has long been removed, and I was waiting, expecting the smaller tree to the mountain's left as we face it to go missing soon. And sure enough, it has. It's to the left here. I'm not sure what happened to my camera angle here. But yeah, the scaffolding to the left used to have a small tree inside of it. I'm still stuck on the center of the mountain here, but what I'm supposed to be looking at is over here. Meanwhile, we'll go to the entrance where they are still working on the interior. That queue part, the last stretch of the queue, is being updated, but no major changes as far as I can see with the exteriors. The veneer is still removed, but they haven't started working on anything else. Not sure what the plans are there for that. All the little houses, etc., that we've been watching are all still there. Everything looks to be in order. Back here where the sculpture used to be, that all looks to be about the same still. I thought I saw a little more daylight back there in the dark area behind that tree. That's the exit queue. I thought maybe they had stripped it down. I thought I saw studs, but that's actually just more stripped woodwork back there. I mean, I feel like they have maybe scraped it further than they had in the past, and that's why I'm seeing a little bit more, or a little less color, a little less deepening of darkness back there. That wood, when they do that, when they scrape it, it tends to brighten the wood up a little bit. But otherwise, things look to be as they were back here. And of course, it's been 9 weeks, and the secret path is still open. It's been 9 weeks, and the Briar Patch is still open with Brer Rabbit still inside. By the way, while I was checking out the Briar Patch, I happened to catch some hard hats back here. I mean, I have no idea what they're doing. They're actually standing. They're standing on where water would be normally, right there. You can see normally boats go by right there. But they weren't doing anything to that section. Just visible hard hats. We'll go to Fantasyland next, where they have taken down the scrim and scaffold that was outside the restrooms there and the Red Rose Tavern to reveal what looks to me to be a much brighter, more saturated paint job. Looks great. That looks really nice there. A lot more color there than my eyes seem to recall in the past. In addition, over here at Red Rose Tavern at the entrance, I feel like I'm seeing more color here than I did in the past. Maybe they just refreshed the brickwork there, but that looks nice. That looks really good. Toad's is open here now, but Toad's has since closed. We'll get footage of that next week. Until then, we'll head to ToonTown, where everything seems to be pretty much in order. Still, obviously Donald's boat, or the splash pad area, is still behind walls, and they're working on fixing the way the water runs off there so they can turn on the splash zone. So I allow this opportunity for Sofia to run about. We'll take a little interlude and chase Sofia around ToonTown for a little while. Her motor never stopped running, and it was a sad moment for her when I said that we finally had to leave. But she just runs and runs and runs and runs and runs and goes and goes and goes. She loves it at Mickey's ToonTown. We'll be doing our recon, and we get anywhere in the area. She knows when we're close to ToonTown. She said, "Can we go to Mickey's Town?" She calls it Mickey Town. Can we go to Mickey Town? Mickey Town, Mickey Town. And now what she's pointing at there is that she wants to go over to Goofy's house, Goofy's playground. And I said, okay. And a moment of panic. Every time I lose sight of her, a moment of panic. She's trying to process if she wants to do the slide or not, but then she changed her mind and decides she wants to go over here, panic. Go over here, panic. And go play the little jump You just jump around on these mats. It's fun. Needs a little help. Push first pole. There you go. Here's some panic. Gone. 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 Oh, there she's gone. Gone. Ah! Okay. When I tell you, your heart literally skips a beat. Oh, man. Finally, I was able to convince her to go check out Runaway Railway. Every time we've been coming by here, be that through a State of Disneyland report or a construction report, Runaway Railway has been closed. But today, we found it open with just a 20-minute wait.
This way, honey.
And I wanted to test that out. That does say 20 minutes. You can take my word for it. It actually, you know, it goes quickly. This would have been... It says 20, but it's actually, I mean...
Sophie,
it could, it's less than that, really, because it's 20 minutes to the vehicle, but just like Rise of the Resistance, you know, where does the show start? Well, it starts, to me, it starts with the movie, with the Perfect Picnic video. And this queue would actually go a lot quicker if the queue wasn't so good. But the fact that it's so good, it slows it down. We could have walked all the way directly, briskly, to the theater room nonstop if the queue hadn't been so good. If the queue wasn't so good, people stop and they notice things and they take pictures. You know, people will stop and just sort of, they'll read the plaques and they'll look at the thing, and meanwhile, you know, for the folks who aren't doing those things, and not, I want you to do those things. I want you to read the plaques and look at the stuff, but you know, it's sometimes if it weren't there, we would all be there. But that's just a testament to how good the queue is the fact that it moves slowly like this, in spite of the fact that there aren't enough people to fill the queue. And you know, the wait time would be even shorter. Like I mentioned, it would be a 5-minute wait. This queue would have been a 5-minute wait if it weren't also for the fact that, you know, you stop and they have to separate you into theaters, you know, where you congregate there just before you go see the film. You know, they hold guests there and they block them off and they put them in a theater, and that takes a little while. And then you have to watch the film. So that's, you know, that's 10 minutes. That's 10 or 15 minutes for all that to happen. Well, maybe not 15, maybe 10 minutes. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Just an observation. So if you see a wait time, any wait time, really, go ahead and subtract, like, you know, 10 minutes off that. Because that's about how long it's going to take you to get to the theater room, which is where, just like the Ray room on Rise of Resistance, that's where I feel like the show starts, is when the movie starts. You do have a little bit of queue after that. And the ride is great. Love the ride, as always. We had a great time, Sophia and I did. When we were in the conga room, though, this is why, that right there, that's the reason why the ride, one of the reasons, I should say, why the ride breaks down so often, is things like that hat on the ground. That hat will, I'm sure, trigger a breakdown. I'm surprised it didn't while we were there on the attraction at that moment, because one of the ride vehicles actually went over it at one point. But that right there is the reason why you have constant stoppages. On our way out, I'll point out that power limes are in stock and ready for purchase. These were hard to get initially when the ride first opened, but they are readily available now. All right, let's get back to work. Monorail is still closed. We'll pretend to take that to DCA, where we're going to look in on Rogers the Musical. I've been tracking things here, trying to see how well the show is performing, how hard it is to get in. When I got there, the first thing I did was check the virtual queue. It was, what time does that say? 11 a.m. We were able to easily get a virtual queue for the 1:45 show. The 12:45 show was sold out, but we were easily able to get a 1:45 show. The reservations, you don't get to pick your time in the virtual queue. The reservations are for the next one, which means that any show after 1:45 is also completely available. So it's not anywhere near as competitive as it was when the show first opened, and it makes me wonder how successful if it is the case, how successful it might be for them to do this sort of limited engagement type show in the future as a regular thing. I'm going to talk about that again. We have a video that I'm planning about the future of Disneyland, a 2024 prediction type show. This conversation will be part of that. We have observations about alcohol service in the parks, fireworks, and we'll include this conversation as part of that. But I wonder what Disney's plans are for 2024, and it's an interesting conversation. In the meantime, we'll check in on Avengers Campus, and the HQ gift shop, hole in the wall is still there. They're fast at work inside, I'm sure, building that gift shop. We'll go to San Fransokyo. I'm not sure if I mentioned this last week, but the Lucky Fortune Cookery sign is completely installed now. Still working on the Baymax meet and greet. I don't expect this to be visible to the public for a little while still. Same for the gift shop next door. They may be done or near done, but I have a feeling they're going to keep those walls up, at least these walls for the gift shop. The Sorceria is open. We did a report on that last week. Watch that if you missed it. Rita's has been updated. This is actually a new. Rita's Baja Blenders is now Rita's Turbine Blenders, as predicted. No change whatsoever to the structure or even the color scheme. It's literally the same building, same as everything. Actually, they have a new menu thing. We're going to check on that next week. The only thing that changed is the word turbine instead of Baja. That's all that has changed here, basically. New trash cans for San Fransokyo. That's their logo, I guess. It looks kind of like Smoke Tree Ranch, doesn't it? Does that not look like the Smoke Tree Ranch logo? It's SFS, San Fransokyo Square, is what you're seeing there. It looks like Japanese lettering, but it's actually just an SFS. Scrim is down next to Lucky Fortune Cookery to reveal some new art that looks to be a mech dragon of sorts. I like it. Very nice. They've also put Scrim around the silo above the bakery tour, above Bodine's. You're going to see some new art there, and some new characters added to that silo. And we are still waiting for them to finish the bridge adornment. There's little bits that they're still adding on there, and then they're going to paint it, and then everything will be ready August 31st. Toy Story Midway Mania is closed. No word on what it is that they're doing inside, although I can tell you that it's not anything physical in terms of the exterior queue, obviously, because they would be walls up here. So it's not anything that they're not doing anything out there. Embarcadero gifts. The scrim and walls are down, revealing a new fresh exterior for Embarcadero. The scrim is still up though on the the side of the building there, where they're repainting the interiors. Looks like they have scraped off that area there, and this area looks to have the windows covered in tarp. I said we weren't going to come back here, but here we are. I'm looking at Embarcadero again. This time next week, Redwood Creek Challenge Trail will be closed so they can install the Villains Grove overlay for Oogie Boogie Bash. And we'll take another little interlude here to enjoy the cool, breezy effects of Grizzly River Run. It was really hot this day when we were filming. Very hot. Probably, I think it was 90. So I wanted to take a minute to enjoy this little bit of relief. It's very windy and breezy right here, plus the cool mist coming off the attraction was a welcome relief. While we're here, I observed that one of the geysers is back up and running, the geyser on the right, but the other geysers are not on or functioning, at least on this visit. And that includes the one that the rafts used to go over. There was a geyser that's in the river that still hasn't been working for a little while now, but I love that geyser. Status quo for Soarin' around the world. Scrim and scaffolding still covering the entirety of this building. They're doing all this while the attraction remains open. We'll go to Downtown Disney next to see if we can find anything at Catal, but we couldn't. It looks exactly like it did last week, at least as far as the ground is concerned. I haven't been able to get my hands on any overhead photos from Ballast Point as of yet. The monorail station now, still a bunch of scaffolding, I'm sure, inside the station, but it is now covered in this big green tarp, plastic baggie. So they're going to take that out with the garbage on Wednesday. I'm just kidding. They're fixing it. And then here's an update from the ground. At the downtown Disney construction site, guitar picks there. That's the vertical construction, the Well of the Souls structure. Take a minute. I have a thought. All this time I've been assuming that Din Tai Fung was going to go in the location currently occupied by Tortilla Joe's. I am now second guessing that. I don't think that's the case. I think it's the Well of the Souls. Look at the I-beams there and the way that those are being constructed, the sort of angled nature of the I-beam, and then compare that to the concept art. It's not exactly the same, but it's giving off that that vibe to make me believe that's not normally how you build, a Best Buy type building. So this is not a standard retail shop. The Best Buys are going to be retail, right? The Best Buy buildings those are just squares, boxes. But this has a little bit more character. They're building a little character into that building, and the only building that I know of that has character is Din Tai Fung. So it's very distinct possibility that what we're looking at there is the future home of Din Tai Fung. Anybody out there who's got any inside info, reach me at david@freshbakedisney.com or at me, DM me on Twitter at freshbakedisney. That's fresh with no E. Don't have any overhead photos also of the downtown Disney construction site. We do have photos from the Disneyland Hotel facing the DVC Tower, and you can see it looks like they brought in furniture. That looks to be like furniture, like somebody went to IKEA and bought a whole bunch of, couches and and beds and stuff like that they have to build, right? I mean, that's what that is, isn't it? So they're putting together the rooms now at the DVC Tower. They're also working on that sort of aesthetic themed side of the structure there. It's like this on both sides of this building. They're installing those weird colored patterns on the side of the building. Yeah, there it is. Here's a longer shot. They're working on that on the right side there, but they've been working. The left side is already complete. Let's go back to Disneyland to Adventureland. I update you on the restrooms. No progress that I can see. I have no idea where they are. The walls are up and I can't see anything inside. Indiana Jones is closed again on this morning. Add that to the list of times it's been closed since we walked by. Let's go next to Adventureland Treehouse, where things mostly look like they have the past few weeks. Although we did make a few observations. The daughter's room on the left, the cardboard obstructions that were installed last time are gone. You can now see that they've installed the same kind of netting that we've seen in the son's room. That tells me that they're getting close to being done here, actually. The fact that they've taken down the covering suggests that they may be finishing up. Here's another clue that they may be finishing up. The coverings for the lamps, the lights, the lighting fixtures out there on the front of the entrance have been removed. That means that it's got to mean that they're near done, right? If they would do that, they're revealing all that because the coverings are there to protect them from damage, from whatever construction work that they're doing. So if they're that, right? That seems logical. I don't know. I think we're getting close. I saw some action back there, so I thought I would take Grandpa out and see if I can't see. What is that? There's something bronzish looking. Is that a fan? What is that underneath that part, that lifted part of the scrim right there? Let's take a look. No, that's not a fan. It's some kind of coil. It's a bronze coil. I think that's show. I think that is the... They talked about the father he built a freezer, an icebox. I'll bet you that's what that's for. It's not in the concept art. I don't think. I don't see it back there. But they talk about it in the sort of backstory that he built. Is that a bird? He built some kind of freezer. That's cool. I don't see. Oh, that's the kitchen right there. I see pots and pans. Do you guys see that? Those are pots and pans. That's the kitchen. That is in the concept art. The literal pots and pans are right there. That's what that is. We're looking at that brick thing right there. Okay, I'm officially nerding out right now. So I could look at this for a while. There's a lot going on there. A lot. Oh, we're so close. They built it. The kitchen is done. Look, they're doing more. Oh my God, he's got future Adventureland Treehouse in his hands. That was a piece of wood that he had either cut off or is about to install. I'm not sure. Cool. What's going on? Oh, they opened the door. That's right. They opened the door and you can see some of the rock work that they're still working on. That's cool. Okay, so there's the water wheel covered still. Has not been yet revealed, but that'll be installed soon. God, we're getting so close. We are closer than I thought we were, I think. No change, meanwhile, over here at the entrance, although they have removed the covering for the sign. That sign is going to eventually reveal the Adventureland Treehouse sign, I'm sure. You know, that points you to the entrance of the attraction. And I'm sure they're building, you know, some kind of staircase thing to start your way up the treehouse there. And as usual, we'll conclude with a long view looking for the sun's room. Looks like we got some constructionizers in there now, although I can't see what they're working on. This looks about like it did last week. They're doing something in there, but I don't know what it is. I can't tell. I'm completely blind through the lens on scene when I shoot this. I can't see anything because the glare is always so high. So I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping that I can find something in post. But yeah, I don't really see much here. And there again was crew at that one spot where normally guests couldn't access, where they're standing now. That is not a place that guests could normally be back in the Tarzan's Treehouse days. So they're back up there at work again, doing what, though, is still a mystery to me. Getting closer every day, Fresh Bake. It's so exciting. Getting closer every day, both here and at Tianas Palace. Look at this. This being, they've revealed the smokestacks and all of the wheelhouse window, scrim and scaffold have been removed, completely revealing the entirety of Tianas Palace. So you can see those smokestacks and the top T sign up there in its full glory. I didn't even notice at first this. Okay, I saw the smokestack first, then I saw this. Oh my God! They're revealing also the Tianas Palace, the actual sign in front of the window, where Tiana is supposed to reveal herself as well. We'll get to that in a second, but that Tianas Palace sign looks fantastic. That looks great. That looks great. You guys, this looks so good. The colors, the design, everything. I love this. I love this so much. Thank goodness that, you know, I was hopeful. I love the French market, you guys. I really did. But this is an upgrade, I have to say. We'll see how it looks in its totality. I mean, I do regret the fact that it was sort of a non-IP original theming type situation with the French market, but this is an upgrade. It looks great. I love it. We'll see about the food, which is going to be revealed soon. Also, check it out. They have installed the canopies. There's another word for those that I can't remember, but I'm going to call them the canopies. They are actually installing these as I was there on this Friday morning. You can see there's a construction worker there literally installing the last bit of that yellow piece. But this was being done as we filmed this. And I think it confirms one thing. They can't retract. The way that they're attached to the cables, so too are the light bulbs. And there's no way, I don't see how you can retract these. So I'm wondering if Tiana will in fact be greeting guests from that balcony. There's no gap in the middle either, because part of the concept art there was two empty, slices. But that looks complete. That looks like there's a canopy on every. This looks great, you guys. This looks so much better than the old setup. I have to say, this looks great. This looks really, really good. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the fresh newness of all this, and the color and the brightness and the vibrance of the situation. Meanwhile, you can see here down in the seating area that they have all but removed all that clutter. It was very little has been left behind. They are completely done out there. What's left is what's happening inside the food service area, which, by the way, we took a look. I was able to zoom in here, and I couldn't see anything, and I'm not expecting to anyway. But I did see one thing. That right there, that window, was not like that before. To my recollection, that looks like sort of a food service window, like a drive-through type window situation, something like they have at the Mint Julep bar, for example. I don't recall that being there. I believe that this might be the location of the new mobile order pickup window. I had been looking for it at, where it was before, and was wondering if something was going to appear there, but that explains why nothing has appeared there, because they're going to move it inside, which is correct. It should be inside, or in a way that guests don't have to go through the seating area in order to get in. They don't have to go inside the seating area to pick up their food. They can just pick it up at the outside of the building. That's the ideal way to do this. So I'm betting that's the future pickup window for mobile order. Oh, he's moving it. There it is. Yes. He's testing it. He's sliding it. See that? That's got to be, right? That's got to be. I didn't notice that at first. All right. Okay. I'm convinced. Last week I recorded a segment at the end of my Tianas Palace coverage saying how I felt like we were very close and that we're maybe a month away. But seeing what I'm saying, I didn't put that in the video. It didn't make the final cut, but I'm back again doing another one of these. But I mean, I'm going to try again this week because I feel like we're even closer this week than I thought we were last week. It's not a month. It could be early August, perhaps. Maybe middle August at the latest. They're visibly finishing Tianas Palace. The sign is up. The sign is here. That's got to mean something, right? All right. Before we conclude, I'll just cover these last couple stories. No update on the train station building that where the fire was. That's been a while now, but it looks exactly as it has before. I can see through the screen, but you can't through the lens. But it looks just like it did before. I don't think they're doing anything on this still. And while I was there this morning, the Hatbox Zipper had gone on sale. This was the first morning sales. Quite a lineup of guests here looking for their Hatbox Zipper. There were 3 locations that I saw where you could get one: here, at the popcorn cart, next to the French Market or Tianas Palace. Also, at the churro cart across from the Haunted Mansion. There's another big lineup there of guests trying to pick one up. And then also, I wasn't expecting this, but at the churro cart outside of Hungry Bear in Critter Country, you can find the Hatbox Zipper there as well. I say that, but it may not be the case. By the time you see this, it could be that they're completely sold out. We're going to be there again on Monday, hoping to see if I'll let you guys know if they're still selling those then. And that's it, guys. That's it for our show this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned to Fresh Baked for more of these construction updates. We do them every week, typically on Monday. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for following us on Instagram at _FreshBaked. Thank you for following us on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney. That's fresh with no E. And thank you for following us on TikTok. And finally, thank you for joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked.
People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course,